actually cost his team and himself another championship, he's settled down, giving you 21 points last night. Okay, he gave you 21. He had 7 assists. That's big-time point guard stat sheet right there. And then in terms of Steph Curry, I mean, it's really – what you going to say? There's nothing really to say.
Let's go down that list, Key. I think you bring up a great point about Draymond that settled him down. I thought the series was over when he got the suspension. That's why I remember I was livid about that suspension. I thought it was unwarranted, and I thought that this could cost them. They need to defend. I still thought if Draymond plays, they can win this series. I picked them to win going in. But obviously Sacramento very live. But once Draymond was suspended, I was livid because I thought, wait a minute. They just won the championship. The fact that they were losing on the road, Key, to me was no big deal because really what it meant all season was they have a veteran team. They were older, hurt, coming off injury. They were saving their best stuff for home. They had to kind of self-load manage on the road. And once the playoffs start with rest in between games and the importance of road games, I was confident they could win some road games.
But people don't look at it that way, though, Max, right? Yeah. They look at the fact that they're losing on the road, so that means they're losers.
Right.
They're gonna lose because they're not going to have home court advantage. They got to go on the road to Sacramento. They dropped 2 in Sacramento on the road. So that first thing, people say, oh, God, here we go. Then they get the 1 last night. So now, it looks different. Like Jay said, they get back home. It was important for them to win that game without Draymond because if they didn't win it without Draymond, now we'd be looking at something totally different. That momentum completely shifted.
And Max, look at their last 2 years, like their opponents, Memphis, a younger team that there was history there because remember Memphis knocked Steph out of the play-in tournament a couple years before that, right? That's when they started to arrive.
When Steph was the only guy on the team at that point.
I was about to say Steph was a long range.
No. I wasn't saying that he wasn't alone.
But they were coming.
The fact that they were
on their
coming
way.
and that Steph and those guys remember that. But look, Golden State was down 2-1 to the Celtics last year, right? They are battle tested.
Yeah.
When you have gone through wars, when you have gone through battles, you can sit there and say, okay, I know that this is a game of inches, and how we have to execute those details within those inches will determine whether we win series or not. And the last 2 teams they played against, Boston not really being battle experienced in NBA Finals scenarios. They have been in the playoffs. Memphis, still young early last season, right? They won that series. And now you're watching it with Sacramento where you're saying Sacramento's like, you're looking at the mirror of a younger Golden State Warrior team, but they don't have the experience. They're not battle tested.
Can we talk about Steph for a second? Can we talk about Steph for a second?
Well, I was going to talk. That's what I was about to ask Jay something.
Go.
I want you, Jay, to assess my mental capacity real quick.
Okay, talk to me, baby.
Because I need some help. Why is it that I want Ja to go sit in the corner somewhere and get ice cream and some popcorn, but I want Steph to get me tickets to sit courtside? Why is that?
I don't know. Can you break that down for me?
Because Steph knows his size. Key resents the fact that
I want courtside for both games.
No, but I don't.
He resents the fact that Ja is a little guy who just plays so big.
But Steph's a little guy too.
Yeah, but he knows it, so he shoots from the outside. He dribbles. Ja's flying over guys, and you resent it.
Maybe that's it. I don't know what it is. I'm like, maybe it's the way. I don't know what it is. Maybe because Ja tells a dude like D-Lo, you too small. Even though he's smaller than him.
Smaller than D-Lo.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe that's it. Because Steph talked that junk, too, when he knocking down threes. He's doing an airplane. But I'm okay with that. But for some reason, I'm not okay with Ja. And I mean, look.
You know what it is, Key?
Obviously, he's a fabulous player with a lot of talent and eventually may get a championship. And I love him as a basketball player. But for some reason, he just bothers me.
Yeah.
You know what? The 2 players there, Key, like one player is elite athletic, in which allows him to defy all odds, right? Seeing guys his size catch lobs over LeBron James, bang on people. You're like, man, it's different, right? Now, the skill set is next level. But the skill set isn't close to Steph's skill set, who lacks the elite athletic. His athleticism is different. It's more in hand-eye coordination from the shooting perspective, from the ultimate skill. They're just different.
I want to get to Steph,
maybe
guys.
If it's Memphis too, maybe because if Golden State beat the Lakers,
Because he's playing the Lakers. That's what it is.
Maybe
that's all.
what
And
it
it's
is.
not complicated. I want to get to Steph. Steph Curry, you could say, well, I was hating on him, whatever. No, man. In 2016, I thought they were going to crush everybody. Steph Curry was the unanimous MVP, everything. But LeBron was easily the best player in the final. LeBron was the best player in the world, right? Like, Steph did not end the season, the whole season. And you said, that's the best player on earth. That never happened until last year. For the first time, because he's 6'3", it's hard for a guy that height. And the sport is for tall people, right? For the first time at the end of everything last season, I thought, Steph might really be the best basketball player in the world, period. And he might do it again this year, Jay, because that title is open, right? KD can't stay on the court, and now they're going to have to do some superhuman minute stuff for Phoenix to win, it looks like. Jokic is incredible, but let's see him actually do it. Embiid looks like he's scuffling in terms of health a little bit right now. Do you really believe in the Sixers? The Celtics look vulnerable. The Bucks are out. Jimmy Butler has an undermanned team, even though he's doing incredible things. If the Warriors go back-to-back now again, and Steph is once again the best player in the finals, to me, that cements it. That dude's the best player in the NBA. Where are you with Steph
Devin
right
Booker
now?
on line one calling in.
Think he's better than Steph?
No, I'm just saying he's the way he's just played in that last series, though.
He's playing.
It's setting the table for an interesting conversation.
What's the better matchup for? You know what? Don't worry about it.
No, I was going to say I still think Giannis is the best player in the game, but coming off last night with the back injury, 10 of 23 from the free throw line, and the unwillingness, on that jump ball down the stretch when it was like a hot pocket, he didn't want to be fouled.
He didn't want to go to the line. He's missing too many shots.
And like I try to tell people, like, this isn't definitive. This is ongoing. It changes. Who is that person that ends up on top of the mountain that we determine, okay, this year is the best player in the game, and that could change next year. Giannis can get the title right back, but like that willingness to say, I don't want it, it makes you look at it slightly differently right now, and it leaves a door for a guy like Steph if he's able to. And by the way, it's a matchup nightmare for the Lakers if the Lakers are able to get by. If the Lakers are having a hard time guarding Desmond Bane, you don't think they're going to have even more difficult time guarding Steph? And that's going to be a matchup nightmare for them, and that leads to them in the Western Conference Finals. Doors wide open.
This is what I mean.
Again.
When Jordan was at his best, when LeBron was at his best, there was no argument. Every year it was the same guy, best player in the league. But this is a more interesting era because there are lots of different candidates. But Steph has a shot to do it 2 years in a row. When you talk about eras, Jay, that means once you do it 2 years in a row, now all of a sudden gets to be a new thing. I don't think it's always been this way for him, but he's a big-time clutch killer nowadays. Draft is tonight. We haven't even mentioned that yet. The NFL draft is tonight.
Starts tonight?
What is the latest? That's coming up, KJM.
The 2023 NFL Draft.